right, we're rolling.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to our special meeting, October 27, 2025, Open Space Committee. I'd like to read this announcement first. This meeting of the Open Space Committee is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with Mass General laws, I must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to make their presence known. Seeing none. We'll just go around the room with quick introductions. I'm Lev Malakoff from Centerville. I'm the chair.
Kyle Pedicini from the Planning Department.
Doug Payson from Barnstable Village.
Ellis Marcus Creed from the Planning Department.
Dave Garl, Centerville.
Ann Rowland, Centerville.
Kate Gulliver, Hyannis.
Farley Lewis, Hyannisport.
Liz Lewis, West Barnstable.
Donazino, Administrative Assistant.
Thank you, everybody. So as a special meeting, we just have the one topic to focus on, which is the open space and recreation plan that is currently in development, and Kyle is gonna walk us through our next steps.
Sure, so first off, we have the staff edits for section 6, which hopefully we can dispense of pretty quickly. They're mostly housekeeping. We are adding some language at the end of maintenance in the stewardship section, as you can see in the notes. But just wanted to see if anybody had any comments or issues with this section 6 before we moved on to the action plan.
No comment.
No comment.
All right, excellent. Well, on to the meat of the issue. It's the action plan, section 7. This is where the rubber really meets the road for the plan. So you guys might have seen the initial draft from the consultant. Town staff did a lot of work to try to more or less make it more readable and easier to digest. I don't know if anybody looked at the original draft, but we found it a little hard to follow and digest. So we took a crack at reorganizing them and kind of consolidating some goals. Again, the goal of this document is to be concise and actually readable and actionable. I looked at our last plan. We had 5 goals, 24 objectives, and 91 action items. Whereas this one, as you have written before, you would have 15 goals and 62 objectives. So taking out the third level of actions, you don't really need a third level basically. So it is more concise and more readable. So we broke them down into different categories. So it'd be open space and wildlife habitat, recreation facilities and amenities, water resources, connectivity and accessibility, and communication and marketing. And then in those buckets, we have a total of 15 goals drafted, and again, a total of 62 objectives underneath those. So a couple other things to note. We had suggested making the timeframes short, medium, and long, a little easier to understand when you put it out 10 years. Frankly, we're not gonna be able to figure out exactly what year we're gonna be doing these actions at. It would just be a total guess, you know, so a little bit more practical to say short, medium, and long. We'll be spelling out, they had it listed acronyms for all the responsible parties, made it a little difficult to figure out who was who, so we'll be spelling out the responsible parties. But other than that, I don't know if we wanna start going through the different goals and make sure we have everything captured based off our community feedback and insight from this committee.
But to short, medium, and long, and how does that, what short-term meaning you're gonna do it in the first year?
Short term would
So
be,
that's high priority?
well, not necessarily prioritization, more so like how long does something need to take to accomplish. So if we have to study something, and that might be more of the, so we have short 1 to 3 years, medium 4 to 7 years, long 8 to 10 years.
So it might be
I
how
think
easy
priorities
it is.
are important.
Priorities
No.
are important and need to be included. So we have, guess we didn't include it on this draft, but they were prioritized in the initial draft from the consultant.
I have on goal 1, it would seem to me that protects drinking water recharge areas, water quality, and future well fields should be the top one. That it's been my understanding from every meeting that we've had that the priority for acquisition is water quality
Protecting it.
And
protecting it. So it would seem to me that that should be the top.
So third one, go to the top?
Yes, yeah.
So it seems like the first
Five.
3 bullets
Hmm.
could be condensed into one, don't you think?
Preservation of
Well,
water quality.
let's see, create inventory of, open space, and amenities is a little different than conservation restrictions, those won't be the exact same list.
No, I'm just talking about develop a policy across town entities and then you provide all these bullet points. Okay, so the first 3 are actually all about water and water protection, right?
Yes, but I think that drinking water, recharge, water quality and future wells is our
Oh, I agree.
primary.
Right.
But I was just thinking you could,
Condensing it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
understand, that wouldn't bother me, but unless,
right,
those are different, from a regulatory standpoint, I think Kyle might be saying that those are different things.
Yeah, so again,
okay.
the goal is to protect and maintain maximum feasible open space and enhance the environmental quality, expand recreational opportunities and preserve community character. So this is more about open space and recreation and conservation as opposed to, again, water resources. We get into that. I mean, they're all related, but we get into that under water resources later in the
Yes.
action plan.
Okay.
So this is about prioritization of private land for conservation restrictions. And it talks about how when you consider anything that's becoming for the town, you should consider, if it's gonna be a wellhead protection site, so that should be a part of the conversation. In terms of the first 2, yeah, I would say they could relate to the third one, but they are kind of separate.
Okay.
But if you wanted to combine them, no problem.
It probably is easier to understand if they're separate because
Okay.
does that make sense?
I don't wanna backtrack, but I just wanted to mention, I did look at the other couple documents in there, like the value of open space.
Oh, yeah.
And the intro and all that, and it all looked pretty good to me. I picked up on a catchphrase, the value of something called natural surveillance, which is by providing access to responsible users to keep an eye on things like this.
Right.
So I would have another bullet item under here, maybe it could be the last one, provides connections for long-distance trail networks such as Cape Cod pathways. Because I don't think it's really called out.
Oh, in terms of
somewhere else.
criteria to be evaluated for
Right,
parcels.
yeah, so if there's
So provides
contiguous
connections.
parcels that can have, help us with our network, avoiding private property and all,
Yeah.
those issues. I think it's worth a bullet item somewhere in there.
Sounds good.
Where to next?
Yeah, I don't know if you just want to go through each goal, read the goal, and then figure out if anybody's got any comments on the action items below.
So I did my notes by item numbers from the draft, 1.5.1. I don't know where that is in this list, but page 89 of the draft had a bullet item I thought we should add back into the changes.
Which is the top one. Sure.
1.51, yeah, it's replaced with language below, and you wanted to.
Yeah, so
I should say.
So some of the old language I think might be good to have retained. Yeah. It was the second bullet, opportunities to enhance public access and remove, oops, you just, go up,
Middle.
stop moving?
Okay.
Okay. Middle bullet, I thought would be good
To include in
to
that.
include in that,
Got it.
replace text.
Sounds good.
I thought that one should be changed from low to medium.
Medium priority. Well, I was gonna, based off of Doug's, that should be high priority is what it sounds like.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
better still.
Better.
Good to go on to goal 2.
Well, I think I skipped one item on 1.4.3.
Forum.
Oh, creating a new, we talked about this, but I'm not sure where it is in the mix right now, which is to create a publicly accessible database of protected properties, for example, CRs, including links to something like the Article 97 viewer.
Okay,
So-
we can add the Article 97, but that's the second action.
Right
under
up at the
goal 1.
top.
Okay, yeah, I guess I was looking at two different things, but, something that the public can go to our website and be able to identify, what's going on with different protected parcels, and make it easy for the committee to.
I'll just specify that as publicly facing.
Okay.
Now with goal 2, is there any way, I mean, I don't know if we are allowed to do this, but is there some way we could suggest that new development or redevelopment could somehow have some provision that open space has to be part of the development, like a certain percentage of the?
That's kind of what the open space residential cluster ordinance goes to.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the first one, evaluate the effectiveness of the town's open space residential development cluster ordinance and preserving open space and develop recommendations for its improvement or revision. So that's something we had talked about. It's not really well utilized in town, but that's essentially exactly what it is. You could develop under this bylaw and you'd have to set aside a certain proportion of the development
Yeah,
of
well,
open
maybe
space.
this could be better specified, but maybe that'll happen when the thing gets reviewed, but
Yep.
it
Yeah.
seems like that should be a requirement
Yeah,
of new
I mean, I
development
know like
in the
New
town.
Seabury, when there's any kind of movement out there into development, they do leave a buffer of green space.
But even with, that's taking a big property and doing something, even with a small property, they
Right,
should
I
have to
think
leave
it-
a certain percentage that's at least can plant a couple trees or something. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I think it should be just universal that they have to leave
Have
some
green
green
space.
space. But maybe we don't get to do that.
I mean, you could, that would be definitely regulatory, that'd be town council and planning board, zoning changes, a little bit outside of the open space committee. So I would say that the best thing to do would be that open space residential cluster development, trying to improve that and promoting it.
Okay.
On goal 2, number 2 on develop nature guidelines, I was at a program today about bird conservation and the importance of native trees and shrubs. And Somerville has just enacted an ordinance where the town is only planting natives. The city of Somerville is required that only native trees and shrubs. And this was as part of the program and I could get the information, it was for the Master Gardener Association of Cape Cod, but the woman was from the Vermont Center for Biodiversity, but she had studied under Doug Tallamy at the Mount Cuba Center in Delaware. So
Alice, do you wanna give a brief background on the nature guidelines that are
Sure.
being developed?
So
This is
nature
referencing.
guidelines was, I thought about it as extending out of the design guidelines for exactly this purpose, so that we can, as a town, start to move into a more green environment, pardon the pun.
yeah,
But, we have to start walking the walk.
Yeah,
We're very
exactly.
good with the scientific information, but now it's a matter of putting it into practice, just
Yeah.
like we have sign guidelines and, guidelines for public art and that sort of thing. So it's exactly intended to do that. And we actually wrote a grant application to MDI. That program was not funded, but I still think it's worth doing, so we're doing it in-house. And that will be a project that Kate and I we're doing an outline right now, and we hope to bring to you all and the public for extensive community input so that we can do an addendum to the design guidelines with a nature bent. So
Is that the, I was going, what are
What is
nature
nature
guidelines?
guidelines?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's great.
Quick question regarding undevelopment. Do we have any guidelines for undevelopment?
could be in the nature guidelines.
Yeah.
And I'm actually doing an archive of all other towns in Massachusetts, and I have a battery of other similar plans that we're gonna pull from.
Okay,
Great.
good.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Good. Excellent.
Be sure to include edible trees and shrubs in that.
Yeah. My background is public horticulture and green infrastructure, so.
I need to talk to you.
Okay.
Page 93 of the plan. Page 93. So in here, I thought along those lines of the natural surveillance that I mentioned earlier is to add some kind of objective such as create sustainably designed pathways on watershed land to increase natural surveillance by responsible public users. So, the wording can be tweaked, but the idea is to be able to, signal to the.
Which one is that?
I think it might be a new one.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see if we can.
But I've seen cases in many other towns and water districts where they have a trail network that goes right up to the well houses. And people are able to see, what's going on and let them know if it's a problem, so. I think there's areas where we are lacking that, based on my explorations of trash sites and campsites and junk out
Now,
in the woods.
should that action item go, because I understand that's about like maintaining open space, should we put that in the open space part or in the?
I would want something in the water resources.
Water
because
resources?
Well, because water is our number one priority, is to help protect those areas by having natural surveillance. So some type of objective or action item related specifically to those, so that when we have our conversations with the water departments, we can explain, the logic of it.
Okay, I'll have to try to find which goal it fits under. Why don't we hold that for now and we'll figure it out. If everybody agrees, we'll make sure that's included in some aspect, but we'll have to figure out where exactly it fits.
I think it's different in our town because the water districts are essentially private, with the exception of Hyannis. So that that town departments work more freely, I think. And the other thing I would add is in any kiosk, that this should be posted, if you see something, say something. With dumping and illegal use of properties.
Oh yeah, I really like that action item that has the QR code on the trail so that people.
We got that directly from one of the open houses, actually.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So are we doing goals or the whole thing? Let's go back to
Go on
goals.
to number 3.
Keep going, goal 3 left?
On to recreation, right?
No, we're still in open space.
Okay, that's fine.
Goal 3. Which is promote stewardship of protected open spaces through volunteer engagement and partnerships with community organizations. So that could be a potential goal we fit
That sounds
that
good.
under.
Yep.
I'm on that one, I see,
Oh,
it's not here under the goals, but it's under the action items that you also include. Some sort of a neighborhood initiatives to pick up trash along the roadside.
Yep.
I think that's a great idea.
So
Oh,
are
it's
we,
right there, it is right there.
are we missing anything under that goal for potential action?
No.
Alright,
Schools.
I think we do schools in the last one. We had schools, cause we had one about,
But if we're gonna do volunteer cleanups, and stewardship
Yep.
to engage the schools. So that,
Yeah, without a doubt.
Alright, yeah, we can add an action item for that. Engage schools on this topic, basically. Alright. Goal 4 is continue and expand ongoing maintenance of conservation areas, and the one action item for that is update the town's wildland fire preparedness plan to include the entire town and implement recommendations. So this was a response to some of the stakeholder meetings. We heard about the need for controlled burns in some of the areas, and we don't have enough staff on Cape Cod for that, so it basically goes to that issue.
that's good, that's
Yeah.
super important.
Yeah.
Particularly for habitat restoration.
Yep.
And maybe we wanna reference that, because I think probably at this program today, I was explaining to the speaker that probably one of the biggest challenges we have here is ecological succession, where a lot of the conservation properties that were open field are now growing into woodlands, and it's a different, and we're losing that habitat, like when I was a child here, Bob White were common. When was the last time you heard one?
Yeah.
A few weeks
20
ago.
years ago.
Okay, so.
Yeah, this year there was
Right,
one.
so
Yeah, I heard
the
one.
prescribed burn is gonna go to who?
So there is a town wildland fire preparedness plan. So
Yeah.
the action would be to update that, include the entire town, and start actually implementing the recommendations of the plan.
Good.
Yes, that's
Okay, but
good.
so who's gonna be in charge of doing the actual burn?
So the burn, as I understand it, is in conjunction with the conservation department. Head Hoops, they usually hire, they farm that out, but what he was saying is they don't have enough people on Cape Cod who can
Right.
do that anymore.
Okay,
So I'm not sure if this action will fix that, but we can't,
Yeah.
we can't.
well, there's
Create new-
Joel Carlson of, what was it,
The
North?
burn boss.
The burn boss, he,
Yeah.
I think he's Northeast Fire Management or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Okay, that's good to know.
The other thing would be mowing and using goats and sheep and
Oh, yeah.
grazing animals. There are people within this town that
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
the goat management.
So would you like an action item that's like explore alternative means to, mow and where possible, explore alternative?
Environmentally
Yeah.
friendly.
Yeah, environmentally friendly rather than using herbicides.
Yeah, chemicals. I mean, that's come up with,
Kyle, that was the
NSTAR.
agricultural, remember we were
Oh, is it in
talking
the-
about the agricultural designations.
But like,
Oh, yeah, for a
NSTAR
right
doing
to
the
farm.
power lines
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
chemicals,
Yep.
where
That's no
like
good.
goats
Yeah.
have done that.
Yep, okay, we can add an action item for that.
Is there some place or somewhere that I just wrote it down and I'm not sure where I would definitely go, but the idea with ancient ways that are within town that they get lost in the shuffle, some of them are on town properties and some are verging on privately owned, but they were probably town properties and then encroached upon over time. But it's some way of looking at maintaining them under a stewardship thing, like if you, and town ways to water, which
Yeah.
are definitely an issue in town.
So that, I would second that wholeheartedly, and when we look at the assessor map from the town website, we see these right-of-ways that don't have any
Yes.
information on them. You have information on parcels, but you can't really click on the road between them and know, does the public have any rights to travel or walk or, go between A and B using those right-of-ways? Cause there's a lot of them, and I think that's part of our, our wonderful heritage that they exist, and when we lose them, it's really hard to reclaim them.
Yeah.
So if there was some way to document, it might be a heavy lift.
It's gonna require a title exam there,
Yeah.
it's probably not gonna be in-house, so maybe an action item could be maintain existing ancient ways that, you know, that have with the caveat that they have public access, because we're probably not gonna be able to go in and try to figure out if every ancient road has public access. That's a humongous legal project, but the ones that we're aware have public access, maintain them. So some sort of action item for that. Does that sound good?
On the other hand, if these public ways, if the open space plan is aspirational,
Yeah.
you could stick it
Shoot
out
for the
there and
moon.
maybe somebody wants to do a master's thesis and needs a topic or something like that.
Sure, yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from, it's just.
It's kind of like a goal.
Yeah, I'm just, at the back of my mind, I know it's taken us a year and a half to get one road looked at by the legal department, so. So that's why I'm like, a little, and in an effort to make it concise and not put in goals that we know probably aren't gonna be achieved. It's kind of where I'm
Yeah,
coming from.
don't set up for disappointment.
Yeah.
As an aside, does the department ever get students who are looking for a topic, a
We
project?
do have interns right now, actually.
But I'm just saying, outside of having an intern associated with a commitment to the town, if they're saying, I'm doing I have to define a project to advance my studies, is there anything you guys?
We should keep a running list, honestly.
Yeah, something like that.
Here,
that is
UMass
true.
Amherst.
It's not often we're approached by PhD students, but yes.
Well, I know AmeriCorps people have helped out land trusts over the years in doing inventory of plants or, any specific need, but.
Alright, so we only have the screen till 6:30, so we only got another half an hour, and we're at goal 5, so need to pick up the pace. Goal 5 is coordinate open space protection measures with efforts to protect wildlife habitat and augment the town's green corridors and spaces. We have 3 actions listed under that. Have we missed any actions under this goal?
I think on the prioritized tree planting, one of the big things that we have in this plan is the environmental justice communities. And because of the amount of clear cutting that's occurred in Hyannis and the hundreds or if not thousands of trees that have been removed, is that we should somehow have in there planting trees along streets and the new multi-use paths that are being developed, like for example, the path along Bursa's Way. They did retain some of the trees between Bursa's Way and the new multi-use path, but I think that's a place that we need thousands of more trees in Hyannis. If you go up to Cambridge and see, or more progressive communities where they have every 30 feet, there's a tree.
Yeah, I think it's important to say that prioritize Hyannis, trees in Hyannis.
Yeah, it is in there.
Yeah, so we can add specifically along streets and new multi-use paths or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's particularly important in an area where there isn't the open space to be sought after. So unless we can come up with space that doesn't exist there for parks and green spaces.
Well,
That
and
is
I,
a green space.
The
environmental justice.
justice areas, for the people, say like over on Pleasant Hill, things
Well,
like
because
that.
it does make if you have the green sward next to a sidewalk and you put trees in it, then you've got some green space and you've got some shade in a neighborhood that doesn't have any of that.
By definition, that's what greening the gateway is. It's
Yeah.
for the environmental justice
Sure,
neighborhoods.
yes.
But
Okay.
once that program goes away,
Yeah,
I think it's important to keep here
Yeah.
as a model.
right.
We'll add in those clarifications. Alright, we're on to recreational facilities and amenities. So goal 6 is provide diverse recreational opportunities and equitable access throughout Barnstable to meet current and future needs of all user groups. And we have quite a few objectives under that, I think 11 of them.
May I ask, has the recreation committee already seen this?
Yeah, so throughout, we've been sending all the drafts to the Recreation Commission, the Planning Board, and the Conservation Commission for comments. We did get comments from the Vice Chair of the Recreation Commission.
Yeah, we have that.
So I think in maybe the first item from the original draft, we lost. Did we lose the pickleball? Cause your new and upgraded amenities, you have a big list there and first item up there. I know you've got something down there. You know, you've got splash pads, soccer cages and playgrounds and basketball courts. I'm looking at the first item.
Okay, you just wanna throw in pickleball there too?
It was in the draft and I know there's a huge
Okay, yeah, we can have pickleball.
contingency that talks to me.
Well, with 25% of our population over 65.
I know my mom would be in favor of us throwing pickleball back on there.
And you don't have to be old to
Make her
play.
proud.
And then whatever 3.3.2 was, I had suggested adding back in the language about sidewalks and bikeways should be considered installed during road construction. Since, you know, that's something I think it's been an oversight when they do a lot of road work and they have an opportunity to put in a sidewalk. That's the time.
All right, well, if it's not in there already, we'll put that under connectivity and accessibility.
Yeah. And then
Kyle, you're a good interpreter.
Trying to keep it all straight, and we've gone through so many different versions, it gets a little confusing, but.
And then I did have one item mentioned at some point in the past about, we talked about Calmus Beach and
Yeah.
having a forest walking loop trail.
Okay, yeah, so we have enhance and expand existing park area at Calmus Beach,
That's great.
including,
A walking loop.
Including a walk trail, yeah. Clean up the understory, thin it a
I
little.
was just looking at the Strava heat map of the area. The area is very sparse. People have, whatever, gone jogging through the woods there, but it's not very inviting.
yeah, no problem, sounds good.
When you have a list of playgrounds in all 7 villages, do you have a priority list, like where you, like if you're gonna build or repair playgrounds?
Right,
Yeah.
I think that's one of our action items, right, to develop a plan. In terms of prioritization, that's ultimately up to town council
Oh,
to
it is?
decide,
Oh, okay.
and CPC really, you know, people who fund them. Yeah, we have something, we've heard loud and clear, playgrounds is a really important issue, we want one in each village. So one action is develop a playground plan for the town that includes all 7 villages. This plan should document existing conditions and needs for each village and include a list of potential projects to increase and or upgrade playgrounds.
I'd almost scale it to the population because not all villages have as many people.
That's
Right.
true.
So the playground should reflect the need somehow, quantity or.
Diana's
And I think also, I've brought this up before, but we have an almost brand new playground in Barnstable Village that no one uses because there's no parking. And it may be that we need to have a sign at the Hollow that says parking available to the left of the Coast Guard Museum. Some way of, I mean, that was an extremely expensive playground that
Underutilized.
it's dramatically underutilized.
Where is it?
Behind the Unitarian Church.
Known as the Barnstable Hollow.
Yeah, it's called the Hollow. It's used on 4th of July for the parade, and they have, you know, dunk tanks and that's it.
Pie eating contest.
Yeah, pie eating contests.
So if you wanted to include a goal like that, we could probably under goal 15, which is promote public awareness, support of open space protection and enhancement of recreation resources, we could put an action item that's like add signage to increase the public visibility of Barnstable Hollow or something
Yeah,
along
yeah.
that line.
Of all of them.
I don't think you need so much the signage for the playground, you need
For parking.
signage for the parking.
Yeah.
Cause that's what, I
That's
mean, it's
the-
almost the same thing with our trails. we know where the trails are, but where do you put your car to get to the trails?
So add signage for parking amenities for recreational assets,
Yes.
including Barnstable Hall or specific.
Cause they're difficult, cause they're green fields, you know, and we use them with the rec soccer, would use that. I think we played there once in about 5 years of coaching there. So I think it becomes limited as far as the team sports, and then do you see the individuals that go in and play? Like you go to Centerville Playground, it was kind of a horror show, there'd be so many kids.
Well, it isn't anymore.
Right, now
It's a mess.
Different kind of horror show,
Yeah. It's a mess. I didn't realize there's a spot behind the Unitarian Church, because I have my granddaughters a lot.
Oh,
And so
bring
I'll,
her there, it's beautiful.
All right, I'll be
Sunsets
there.
and
I'll be
slides
there.
and everything
Yeah.
and
I mean,
nobody.
the one over in West Barnstable across from the barn is marvelous.
Correct, the one behind
Yeah.
the community
So,
building.
yes.
I
across the
won't
street
chew
from
up
the
too
barn.
much time, but after our last meeting, some of us went to the Community Preservation Committee annual meeting, and the presentation on what the Osterville Park is gonna be, playground, that's gonna be a destination place. It looks so
Where is that
over the
gonna
top.
be?
Oh,
The old hospital base.
Oh, okay.
Where?
At the middle, at the school, right?
The old
elementary
Osterville Bay School.
Yeah.
Oh,
at
okay,
Osterville Bay.
okay.
Where I went to
It's just outrageous. I think they should be paying,
They tore it down.
So have we,
they should be paying to go there.
did we miss anything under this goal, or are we good to move on to goal 7? Hearing none, we'll go on to.
Wait. Me, I read these goals, so I should just read what I wrote down. I think, well, even the smallest little pocket gardens could be converted to, pocket spaces could be converted to community gardens. I think we need many more community gardens.
Yes.
Okay.
I think every village should have at least one.
Yep.
We have something in there, but.
And is the agriculture committee, are they?
There's no such thing.
No such thing in
Oh, there isn't?
Barnstable,
He got retired about,
2018.
oh, there you go.
Oh,
So then who is proposing the right to farm bylaw?
Would have to probably be a town council
Okay,
led initiative.
okay. It's a good idea.
But it could be wrapped in with the open space, just because it's maintaining open space for farming. So it's
And
like-
keeping land
And
open.
keeping land open, yeah.
So I guess we've kind of already jumped to goal 7. And on that, Kate, the third one reads, expand opportunities for horticulture, including by increasing the number of community garden plots available to the public, particularly in environmental justice
yes,
communities.
yes, good, good.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
Spot on.
Very good.
Anybody else on goal 7? So we're into water resources now. And goal 8 is coordinate open space protection efforts with initiatives to protect freshwater and marine wetlands and surface waters. We got 6 objectives under that one. Second one we added based off of your feedback on Joshua's and Micah's pond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big one, 'cause that's a big piece.
Well, I don't know if we need to, I would like to mention in that, like, that parcel itself has a trail network that can, again, be supported and enhanced to make it inviting to people to help with the natural surveillance.
Alright, try to add something on there for enhanced existing trails.
What about something about support strict enforcement of regulations regarding water usage?
Yeah, we can enforce regulations of during water restriction.
Designated
Yeah.
drought.
Yeah.
Figure out a better way to work
I
that.
don't think
but-
there is any enforcement.
There's no enforcement, but there's prohibition, it drives me nuts.
Well, I mean, all you can do is
Yeah.
put the word out, but I don't, there are no stale employees riding around looking.
I know, but you think, if you hired somebody to enforce it and there were fines,
They're not gonna hire anybody to enforce it.
So what's
the
the
fines
board?
will pay the salary.
Yeah.
So perhaps that should, maybe that's something for
Underwater.
communication and marketing about like, it's really about messaging because to Chris's point, it ultimately is voluntary,
I-
you know?
I mean, the whole issue of water usage, I mean, it goes to, people irrigating their lawns,
Yep.
to
Still.
filling up their swimming pools,
Yep.
And it feels to me as though, there should be some sort of obstacle in front of these people
Yeah, like
to
a
keep
fine.
doing. Yeah, or,
Well,
they're
or-
they're gonna get paid twice as much for their water.
Alright, so maybe it's explore stricter regulations
For water
for,
usage.
Yeah.
for, violators of
Yeah.
water restrictions or something like that.
I mean, irrigation systems, do they all now come with a rain sensor to them?
No.
Okay, well,
Well, because I see people, their irrigation's going at the end of October, they're still watering the streets with their irrigation systems.
should there be outreach to irrigation companies or landscape companies to?
No, they're not gonna do it.
So we're gonna add explore stricter regulations for violators of, water restrictions during time of droughts or
Well,
something
maybe
like that.
more awareness that
Well,
these
sure, yeah,
is
cause people like to
available.
say, oh, I didn't know.
Right, yeah.
Then again, the town only has jurisdiction over the water use from the Barnstable municipal water system.
Yeah, the rest of
Don't
them,
have jurisdiction over
they're
the
private.
water districts.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, we do have in
We
the,
have jurisdiction in Hyannis.
the last action item is, for communications marketing is develop educational materials with best practices for property maintenance around water bodies. That's about like landscaping around water bodies, but we could also add
Yeah.
another one that's similar to that about,
Yeah,
Irrigation
just water
systems.
users.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Rain sensors.
Would there be an
Pink color.
advantage to combining all the water departments into one? No answer is required.
Thank you very much. I do have another suggestion, and I don't know, Carl's good at wordsmithing, but the last time we did the open space and recreation plan update, there were suggestions from employees from natural resources about considering targeted acquisition of property that, how do I wanna say, within herring runs. So there was a suggestion made particularly on the herring run that comes from Santuit Preserve.
Yeah,
So I don't know if
Runs and property around.
Or not necessarily just herring runs, but any endangered species habitat.
711.
Herring runs aren't endangered, but they're,
No, but they definitely,
Adjacent to an,
endangered
it's in
species are
7-1,
attracted to
Yeah.
it.
adjacent to an anadromous fish run.
So that's gonna be one of the criteria we add in terms of looking at
Yeah.
potential parcels for acquisition.
Yeah,
We also have in this section, maximize the ecological health of the town's 5 herring runs, identify and map obstructions along the herring runs.
Yeah.
It's one of the actions.
Okay.
thank you.
So moving on to goal 9, if everyone's good, would be plan and develop strategies to mitigate the effects of climate change as it relates to open space. We have 3 actions for that one. Anybody got any edits or additions?
No, that was good.
Alright, goal 10 is pursue opportunities to enhance coastal and freshwater access. For
oh boy.
Town ways to water.
I can tell you that the as somebody who just had to take a boat out at the Lovell's Pond boat ramp, the third one is definitely need to analyze some of our boat ramps.
Well, the second one dealing with water access for paddlers and identifying, designing, implementing, but not only launches, I was wondering if there'd be a way, like, I know in other towns, they have kayak racks nearby, so if people are going to, I don't know, pay so you don't have to transport the
Yeah.
kayak every time.
It's a good one, we'll add that to that one, and like installation of
That is a good.
kayak racks
Storage
or
racks,
storage,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
We do have that at Barnstable Harbor at the state boat ramp. There's kayak and dinghies
Uh-huh.
at the state boat ramp. That's a good one though.
Yeah.
And other, like on freshwater.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else on this one?
Shellfish.
Do you have a shellfish? Good to move to the next one? We're into connectivity and accessibility. Goal 11 is coordinate planning the town's greenway network to maximize opportunities for trailways, bikeways, Cape Cod pathways, and connections between open spaces. So we are going to add in this one Lev's goal about planning for sidewalks when there's new road construction projects, or implement sidewalks.
How about prioritizing installing sidewalks with new road reconstruction projects?
Yep, same thing, yeah.
Implementation and a priority are.
So prioritize sidewalks
Yeah.
Implement.
during new road construction projects.
A perfect example is Finney's Lane, and there is a well-worn path along Finney's Lane by the police station and it runs all the way down. And I know, for example, one of my neighbor's granddaughters lives in the apartment complex that's down past where the Natural Resources Department is. She has Down syndrome, and she has to walk along where there should be a sidewalk.
I was behind a school bus yesterday, and they're dropping off the kids, and most of the younger ones, the parents there, but a couple weren't. And it's not a lot of space.
No, it's not.
I think that is a priority for the town, because that's a busy, busy street.
And it serves thousands of people.
It does.
Yeah, that I sometimes, if I'm getting my car serviced at Hyannis Honda, I walk back to Barnstable Harbor from there, and it's not a safe road.
No, it's not.
I do it all the time.
And
It's 4.5 miles.
and the speed the cars
Well,
take
yeah.
on is not the limit
Yeah.
at all. But I mean, half the streets in the town, I mean, people are flying.
Yeah.
If you're wearing bright clothing. All right, so we'll definitely add that one. Is there anything else we should add to this goal? Good.
The only thing I could say that has come up a number of times now, and it's gonna increase, maybe because we're getting older, at least some of us are getting older, is that a lot more people are using e-bikes, and
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
love what it's done, because people are able to do things they weren't necessarily able to before. But I mean, I can cite 3 examples of people getting hit by people on these paths, and they're going more than the speed that, unless you're using your racing gear and you're racing down with your head down the whole time. But the more accidents are happening, in some way that needs to be something that goes into our planning with these things in the future.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is, I
No.
think those regulations might have to come like
From-
from the state. I don't
Yeah.
think it would come from the town.
Well, like, one example is like up at the National Seashore in East
Right.
Ham, this nice trail goes down to Coast Guard Beach there. I don't know how many times we rode it on bikes with our girls, but we were assaulted by a under 10-year-old, I think he was 7, riding an e-bike for the first time
Oh, Jesus.
on his own, and the parents were just kind of walking someplace. Well, this buzzing through and around almost knocked my wife over, and it's so that those sort of things are happening. So you're right, it probably is something
A
a
lady
big,
that's blind in one eye down on
Yes,
Pleasant
and-
Bay.
That was-
right.
Yeah, that was sort of a freak thing, but
Yeah,
it's
I know,
still,
but-
you know. Yeah, no, I agree, I think that's gonna be,
Yeah, I
an
mean,
issue
they
that's
can get
gonna
up to,
have-
what,
need
20 miles an hour, no helmet.
yeah, they're
40,
too
they get
dirty.
souped up.
Yeah, little
It's
modification.
really a classification issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
People are also in Barnstable Village are riding on e-bikes in the center of the village on the sidewalk.
No.
And our village is predominantly either elderly people
Yeah.
or people with baby carriages.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe
You
we
shouldn't
can
be on the
have,
sidewalk
yeah,
anyway.
no, not in the center of a village.
Yeah.
And
Yet a young person wouldn't know that. I'm trying to think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be, they would be unaware that
Yeah.
the sidewalk
Right.
Yeah,
is
their
not
parents probably told
an
them
appropriate
about
place
it.
for that.
that's
So,
in the new 2023 law in the state, on,
My point is, no
Bicycle.
kid's gonna read the law.
yeah. Well, their parents are gonna pay, their parents are gonna pay the price when they're sued.
well, okay, so where are people where are they purchasing e-bikes?
The bike stores
From the internet.
and
Yeah.
the internet,
You
yeah.
know, or there's, retailers.
Yeah, I
so.
was just gonna say, I mean, if you had to actually go to a physical location to purchase an
Good point.
e-bike, you could require them to take a small course or at least give them information about what the restrictions might be.
Yeah.
But if
Can't
you
require, but we can
can't do
request.
that,
But if we had bike lanes on all the roads
Yeah.
and,
That's not-
Well,
Yeah.
does the town do anything, like, for any awareness program for bike riders and things like that?
I'm not aware,
Yeah.
that would probably be under community services if it would be,
yeah, the
but.
police, they would do a bike rodeo at
Right.
the
Yeah.
youth center.
Maybe we could have
I think they,
and the wordsmithing's gonna be required.
Yeah, I mean, we could add like, develop
Education and
develop
safety.
educational materials
Yeah.
with regard to, safe operation of e-bikes
And
in.
even mountain bikes.
Yeah.
Scooters. And the
Well, I
scoot,
mean,
the
they
motorized
have those,
scooters,
zipping all
electronic
over the
signs
place.
that, let's say, slow down, respect our village or something, maybe they'd say,
But that could be in the
goes for
trails
e-bikes and.
section.
Yeah,
I think Farley has a good idea, but I think the information could be made available for the bike shops in town. And maybe there's a document already existing from DCR or something like that.
Yeah, for now, we can just add into again, I'd probably put under communications and marketing, because that's where we have all the other educational materials. Develop educational materials for safe, operation of e-bikes on town.
Bikes and e-bikes.
Wherever in town.
yeah.
So we can add that. So goal 12 is identify and implement priority Americans with Disabilities ADA improvements, and that's 4 actions under that one.
Should something be added with, like the accessible path that Member created at, in West Barnstable?
I was just there this weekend.
Like encouraging,
Identify opportunities to create,
Additional,
what do they call it, adaptive mountain bike trails, which can be used by all users. It's just that they're of a certain width that they can get their bicycles through.
adaptive trails.
Adaptive trails, sure.
ID new locations for possible adaptive mountain bike trails. That's a good one. Really nice trail in West Barnstable. I tried to find the highest point in Barnstable.
Oh, good, see, you were inspired.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you get to it, or you still haven't got
I
to it?
still haven't got to. I got to the Walker's Point. I don't wanna, put the meeting off track here, but I'll talk about it later.
Nice.
Okay, so moving on to communications and marketing, if we're good. We're on the last two goals here. Promote coordination and communication on community open space and recreation needs within town government and among stakeholder groups. 3 of them for that. And one edit I'm just thinking about on the fly is the last one where we say initiate the process to update the open space plan in 2034. Better one might be, open space committee conducts regular reviews of the open space plan to
Yeah.
monitor progress.
One of the
Instead
items
of
said
we
that
wait
it
till
was gonna be
2034 and we get on it.
Right.
Yeah, that's
The
even
year
more.
might-
Yeah, so- There's something in the actual items that says something about it being reviewed every year.
Yeah, it's kind of how I mean, it's gonna be up to this group, but it's kind of how I envision it, maybe one meeting a year, you guys take a look at it and just do a little what's been accomplished, what hasn't been, what do we need to work on? That's kind of what we envision the local comprehensive plan process work, the planning board's gonna be that entity for that. They're gonna do an annual review and take a look at progress, so.
Kind of coordinate.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's kind of what this goal
Yeah.
would be.
Great.
Progress report.
Yeah.
But should there be a
Periodically.
goal deadline or anything?
Yeah, I would just say annual, regular annual review. And then, it's up while you guys do your review, if you guys are upset about a certain thing, this hasn't been done, why hasn't this been done? Then you guys let us know and then we route it from there, basically.
So we should sort of plan to put that on our agenda at some point. I
Yeah,
mean,
certain
Yeah.
trails need to be
Yeah,
observed, yeah.
unless,
Yeah.
And schedule it in the winter.
Whenever you guys get slow time.
right.
So if you guys are good with that one, the last goal is promote public awareness of and support for protected open space protection and enhancement of recreation resources.
I'd like to suggest that, and I know you do all kinds of outreach, but then the response we get is, a couple hundred people out of 50,000.
Yeah.
So, and I think the town maybe doesn't wanna spend the money, but what if we had either an annual or a biannual townwide mailing that listed everything that's available in open space? Just list the beaches, the trails, the parks that are available, or any particular events that are happening, and do it either once a year or twice a year, so people have a piece of paper in their home, they can stick it on the refrigerator or something, and they're more aware. Nobody's looking at the same stuff, and so we're not reaching enough people. You hear so much, the public survey, one of the biggest items of response was never heard of the place, or never go there. So somehow we gotta, and maybe mailing is old fashioned, but it seems
Honestly,
like-
that's probably the most effective way, if you do direct mailing and you send it to people's houses. That's been, what we find is the most effective way to get people to respond to something.
Yeah.
The problem is,
I know, it's a
it
few
costs-
$1,000.
costs money,
Money,
but
yeah.
that's a good action item we could do.
Annual or biannual,
Create regular mailings with information on towns, open space and recreation resources to be disseminated to
Well, do you wanna
residents.
do any kind of event type thing, anything related to?
Actually, I have an idea. I don't know what the plan is by the town manager, but every year the clerk sends out a census.
Tax bill, yeah.
we could go with that, that'd be
And
great.
then go with the tax bills too, tax
Stuff
bill
it in the
inserts.
census.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh.
We've done stuff like that for LCP and stuffing stuff in the,
Yeah.
tax
Nobody
bills.
has already hosied the.
Right, that's what it is. It's like people,
Yeah, so it could
That'd
kind
be
of,
great.
Question of if dibs have been called yet, but yeah.
That sounds good.
The other thing would be to just have a format that appears somewhere on the town website that ties everything together, not having to go like this to try to find things when you go on the town website. Click here to access all the town's open spaces, beach access, town ways to water.
So Doug, where would you go on the town's website to find that stuff?
When I go into the town websites, I start going through all of the, you know,
Departments?
yeah, going through the departments, but maybe if there was just an overriding button like that said,
Press here.
press here for everything to do outdoors in the town of Barnstable.
But I think that the town already has the ability to keep that information available on different pages, like open space and conservation department and conservation commission. I don't know how many similarly related groups that the same data can be accessible.
Yeah.
Because
I
once
understand.
you make an update or change, it'll be the same for all those access points.
It might be interesting to explore other towns and, you know, their websites and just see if there's, you know, some ideas to be.
Good idea.
Because I think that goes back to what we kind of talked about before, about the idea that it would be a page that was Barnstable and had little dots or green areas for everything. And each one of them would be an interactive, that if you were to click on that, it would give you background on with the Wayland property and tells you about what then that could be hooked into the maps that have already been created. Because it's probably just like 4 GIS layers to put that together. And
Think of when we looked at the list of conservation areas or parks, and we're on the committee and we didn't know where they were.
Right.
So imagine the public, somebody's out in the mills, you know, and they don't know.
So here's what I got for a potential action item. Compile and organize open space and recreational resources on town website in a user-friendly manner, something along that.
That's great,
line.
Yeah.
that's great. You are a good
Like
wordsmith.
Well, we just did this for 2 years with the LCP, so
Yeah.
we're,
Did
know how to
we
formulate
lose
goals.
the mojo for the walking library? Is that still a thing? Because that was in our last plan.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see it updated here, but
No.
we can revisit that. I had some questions about the mapping in there, need to update things, but but what the best tool is. I think having the paper maps of those curated walks will be helpful for folks, and then market those. So I think we'll have we'll make that an agenda item, and we'll revisit that, because there is a draft spreadsheet on the website.
do we want something on that as a goal, like?
It could probably be very similar to the goal that was in the last plan. About
Okay, I'll look at that.
Having that as a resource for people. The walking library.
See what we got in the last plan. All right, well, does anybody else have anything else for goal 14? And if not, we have completed our review.
Yay.
In an hour.
Yeah, we did another good job.
Nothing like giving a deadline.
Yeah.
No, it-
So from here, I will be getting the rest of the edits to the consultants. We're gonna be meeting with them on Thursday to further discuss the maps, because I know the maps, we need to make some edits to those. The goal is to have them turn around and get us, with all of your edits, another draft, hopefully by the end of next week, probably. And so we're on track for that, public meeting on the 19th, November 19th, where we'll have the updated action, or the updated draft plan to present to the public. Our goal is to get it out on the website at least a week in advance of that, so people have time to review it, and there'll be at least 3 weeks open for a public comment period, so folks can send in their comments. We'll have that meeting, we'll compile any public comments we get from that meeting and the open time period. And then we'll have to figure out the sequencing from there, but we'll bring it back to you guys, figure out if we need any more revisions. Eventually, we need to get in front of the planning board, the recreation commission, and the conservation commission to get their endorsements of the plan. And then after that, it would finally go to town council for adoption.
Question, I'm glad you had the reference to the ADA compliant, considerations. Do you wanna bring it by the Disability Commission?
Yeah, we can certainly
So that
make
they know
sure,
that,
yep.
that we are looking for their
Listening to
input
them,
and that we're listening.
So is the end of next week, you estimate there'll be a draft plan?
I think they said by November 5th, whenever that is, they
And
said they
is
would be able
that
to
the
get us-
same, will that change at all before the public meeting, or is that more just for us to see it and we'll know what's gonna be at the public meeting?
Exactly. That'll
And
be
then when does the public get to look at that draft plan?
probably like the same time you guys do. We'll get it posted as soon as possible.
Okay, so people can prepare before
Yep.
they come to the public meeting.
Absolutely.
So that will be ready by our November meeting to review before the public meeting.
When is your November meeting?
Right,
She knows, is it?
What's the time?
Yep, so it should be ready for that meeting.
so it'll be ready for.
You shouldn't really need to review it, cause we just did that review,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you can at least see it, you know.
Because we're not gonna be trying to make changes before the public meeting.
Right.
No,
Whatever
no.
that-
And you know, obviously keep in mind, this isn't the last bite of the apple, we're coming back after the public meeting, if you guys think of anything between now and then.
Ninth.
Gonna have another chance.
November 9th, I think.
So we'll definitely have this topic on our November meeting. We're gonna have a nice session on walking weekend. Everybody who had pictures taken, you could please label each picture with the site where you took it. And then when Jenna has them, we'll be able to, sort through them and, have a little look at those at the November meeting. And we'll also be discussing the date of spring walking weekend, so that we don't have to wait and miss deadlines, and, calendars work for a long time ahead, we can think about, what the best weekend for that was, and then kind of get into a synchronized, pattern of fall and spring walking weekend, so people can start to plan their vacations and rent their timeshares, so they'll be here every year.
Yes, so they'll be close to.
I have a suggestion about it, unless it's already happened, but there is such a thing as the, what is it? Conservation calendar, Cape Cod Conservation
yes.
Calendar.
Yeah.
And maybe with the forward thinking or forward planning,
Right,
those walking weekends can be on that calendar.
I think BLT would have to put us in there because we
Yeah, I
have to
see.
be a conservation organization.
I see.
Yeah,
It might,
yeah.
anyways, it made me think that that would be
Yeah.
probably a go-to place for like-minded
Would
people.
be,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if we could get a,
So it,
And
I say
answer
that knowing that the forward planning will
yeah,
help enable that to happen.
Yeah, we'll also discuss a little bit of the media plan that we had from the spring. Doug's done a lot of work, legwork this time to get the word out. So coming up with that in a documented list, so we don't have to rethink it when we get to the spring walking.
good, that's great,
Okay,
no scrambling.
no scrambling. So that's probably all I have for right now. Anybody have any last minute announcements? Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are done. Thank you. All finished.